I can hardly speak. I lose all control, and something takes over me in a daze, and it's so amazing. It's not a phase. I want you to stay with me. On my side, I swallow all pride. Your love is so sweet. It knocks me right off of my feet. Can't explain why your love makes me weak. I get so weak in the knees, I can hardly speak. I lose all control, and something takes over me in a daze, and it's so amazing. It's not a phase. I want you to stay with me. On my side, I swallow all pride. Your love is so sweet. It knocks me right off of my feet. Can't explain why your love makes me weak. I get so weak in the knees, I can hardly speak. I lose all control, and something takes over me in a daze, and it's so amazing.
Shunwa sikaram ruju gravity bide kutuka prati fichela kasai. It's 9:39 p.m. 6/30/2026, and I've casted my burdens with the Lord. I've called the Lord as my ancestors, and I called the God as I called the past, present, and future versions of self to come and listen. I gave them 4 names, 4 true names, and a 5th to be brought to their knees when it's time. I'm no longer playing, I'm no longer asking, I'm commanding, and that's my right, because I'm Morocco, and I'm illuminated within the Elijah of Elullah, our Elah, of Ratakan Siberkin, the sovereign king of the sovereign son, the first Ikra, the first Erutu, the first Jerka, and the first Jern. I'm Ern and Arn and Ikr. I'm Amun and Marak and Melakrose, and you call Moshe, Mose, because it's Mehereze, Meheroko, Ramarak and Naka. And the Masha is Oshe, Shala, Shaloshu, Uja, and Jaran, and Amureki, Titi, Tarta. I'm giving Prince Andrew and his king. I'm giving Bibi Netanyahu and his butt buddy, Donald John Trump. I've also called for the truth to come upon the one who's afflicting us the most, in the name of William Bill Gates, or William Henry Gates. Bill for short, so Bill Henry Gates for you fuck niggas, capital. I'm not asking for anything but their truths to be said unto them, for that is their right. I am tired of being laughed at.
If you're a veteran who wants a...
They may not be melanated, but their voices is.
Watch this.
Don't
If you
care about that, Stephanie, you got the world going crazy. Stephanie, Stacy. Arkanat, the God lot, the
I don't care if she was high or not.
Oprah,
Whitney
you need
Houston
to
is
tone for
dead
your
and
singing.
gone.
I'm just gonna leave you at that.
I just found the biggest cheat code.
I'm over here reading niggas to filth, and you will have come across me.
I've dabbled in love since maybe every other summer. It never lasts long. They never stick around. I'm made of steel.
The word for today is Olutoni,
Olutoni Tarakata.
the Lord who teaches.
He has
Our
taught me how to
divine
believe the truth.
instructor.
I have
The
lit my
only
fire, I have enacted my Kabbalah, and I have set it free. I've set the messengers and messengers free. I've called my first mother into my heart, and I gave her a seat within my house, where I read her obituary and was brought to tears. I have erected her pillar. I've given her the space. I've given her her room, because that is her place in my heart. Her place in my heart is forever here, and it goes nowhere but with me. But within my home, she has her own spot, and I've given her just that. I respect her more than I have the words to say.
Watch this. If you're Ray J, what's up, player? Why you lie to us, man? I thought you was gonna be dead. We brought her back. Hey, we brought her back. Hey, we brought her back. I'm gonna get away.
I don't know what's going on there. Bakile bire job rek visike de super sfera kuton spire. Here's the truth. I wish it played. I wish it played. You know? I know my mother never messaged me. I don't care to know about it. I don't care to be reminded. I don't care to be any of the shit that you're talking about at this moment. Posted some shit on YouTube. If you niggas cared, you would look. I call my spirit in my space Eas or Ajax, Yak, Ayaras, or Genevrakataka, Ayanurtors, the Taurus, Lord of Alam. In case you didn't know, that means Ajax Lesser and Ajax Greater. The son of the king of Telamon, the Telamon. Teller. Thoth E-L-A. And Mon as in the Mon. And Periboy ear. Cause I'm Akram Delamorian Ajax. Yak or tier avior wivrak. They say cast your burdens of the Lord, for he shall sustain you. And then they tell you that you could do greater things through the Lord with Christ, through the Lord who is Christ, with the help of his Father. And so I have contacted his Father, I've contacted him, and I have gone through him to get to the Father. And more than that, through the Father, you could get exonified through the Spirit, and he will set your spirit free within your soul. And if you understand that part, then your soul becomes true and your spirit becomes one with the mother. And so I call all my mothers here within me, and I ask that you expand my heart in the space thereof, and I ask that you open it and allow the Spirit to come through and bless not just myself, but the space. In the space I shall operate in, as in the world thereof. I know you have me in more ways than one, so I praise thee and I call on you. I know that within my space I don't have the directive to do a lot, but I have the ability to do something. And so I understand that within the great gods and the gods that fashioned me in their image, Inatra, Insag, in the name of Ninsag, I am Inok Marakamurugu. I mean, I have the ability to make your cookies at this time. It's not about the cookies. It's about the contents thereof. So I have this date. I have this pecan. In the name of Anouk. In the name of Tefnoot. In the name of Tawaret. I'm a moot. In the name of Sobek, I'm Kunum. I'm the Oxborn God. And always, I'm the Ea. As the scorpion double thinks within a fish is rising sun. Full Taurus moon. encompass all mothers in my story. I like how they say Ajax was described as a stocky, this is the lesser, powerfully built, swarthy, and pleasant person, and brave. What's swarthy, niggas? Ajax is the son of Telamon and the son of Aeacus, and grandson of Zeus, and his first wife, Peroboier. By Telamon, he is also the elder half-brother of Thyreser. Through his uncle Peleus, Telamon's brother, he is the cousin of Achilles. And it says here that he should be distinguished from the son of Oilis, or Olius. And as my father is literally the fire serpent, born underneath Osiris, he's that Ajax, which is the lesser. I'm Ajax the greater. And that's what I tried to tell you niggas. And I tried to tell you the reason why it's significant that I'm here and I know my truth is because I understand what they're trying to hide. And what they've been trying to hide is who the original people are. And if you niggas ever thought, and I'm just saying like niggas, if you ever thought, you would know that this island that we live on, because it's surrounded by waters, and the original land is up and down, and there was a bridge to the other land, and the other land had its own names and switched names more than a nigga could count. But on this land, it was the land of the Canaanites, all the tribes of the Canaanites, even the sons of Jacob and Joseph. And I'm telling you, we've ruled in different sectors, and it all went to hell when they went down south, but not all the way south where you have the Amazonian or the Amazonian tribe coming out of the Amazon, Brazil, and where we have most of the fucking pyramids, but in the land that we call Tijuana, and not Tijuana as the second seat within Texas, but in the first of the Moacanas, the Mayans, because they came from Mani Mansa Musa. Because Mani Mansa Musa was Kwele Khan in our lineage, and they're the ones who killed Maximilian for coming in his name and coming to seek the truth. And if you want to know how I know this shit, you niggas should read. My niggas, you should read. You should really read, cause it tells you a lot of things when you open up a book. I tell you niggas, if you want something to hide, if you want to hide some information from a nigga, put it in the book and don't talk about it unless you read the book, cause niggas ain't gonna read the book, and it's obvious, cause niggas, you ain't read no books. And I said, if you niggas ever read a book, you would know that the end of Jesus' time is the end of the Roman, Trojan, Spartan, and Greco-Roman wars. If you look at those fucking that time, you would realize that Manichaeism is still a thing. Manichaeism was on both sides of the land, and Mani, being the one who gave the truth of the angels, should be significant. Why? Because he died around the same time they say Jesus did, and they say he died the same way Jesus did. So how the fuck do niggas not put two and two together? Because Jesus ain't got... But when you say Manny, and then you realize Manny would be Mani Masa Musa, Musa Masa Marak Malaktaka Mamit, Umurakata Marimino Marak Marakan, Eraki Kilikira Karafarasum Verka. It explains his connection to Mary Marok. And maybe your tongue will come alive. Because Jesus ain't gonna do it. Because who the fuck is this Zeus? Because you're calling he is Zeus. He is Zeus. He is Zeus. He is Zeus. That is what Jesus means in shortened language. More than that, you would understand that they took all our teachings and made us fall for this man who was supposed to come back in the creator's image, which is Zeus, who in the original pantheon of Muhammad is Muhammad himself. But Muhammad came back in his son, Ali, and in his other son, which was his nephew, Hassan. So Hassan and Ali are both Zeus and Zoroaster accordingly. And I said, so who is Zeus, who is Zoroaster? Because Zoroaster would give you the truth of Thor. And if you understand and looked at the truth of our fucking words in the name of the Valentinians or the Venetians, the Valentinians being after the death of Joseph, and the Venetians after the death of Husan, when Mani fled before he died and became martyred and became the name of the pantheon. Because we realized that it was going to come in the name of Marok, which is the proper name of Muhammad. So that's why I am born underneath Thoth's constellation as the ox-born sun, double phoenix in the form of the Scorpius and full Taurus moon. And then if you understand that my name is Amar Amin Jackson Jr., and I am son to Jenkins and Charles in the name of Kassan and the Marquis. I said, who would I be as Marquis Kassan, the first Ika in the Sertu, in the second Tar of the Chol Echala, and it turns out he has 3 children, because he has an older brother. My brother has an older brother, according to my mother's words, because I remember everything she told me. That would make me third of his line, and that would make me second in my father, because my father has another daughter, a daughter older than me. So if I'm encompassing the daughter and the son and the other son and the fallen father and the first father, who is all our fathers, and the mother of us all, in the name of Shira Larray Jenkins, home of the Arai Cato or Arai Karo. If you ever thought to take your heads out your asses, you would see that she and her lineage came from motherfucking Maryland. And if you chase her lineage back, you would say that her father or her great-great-grandfather is named Hosi. Hosi, what's the fucking other half of that shit? If you ever saw fucking Prince of Egypt, it would be Hotep, Hosi and Hotep, nigga. So who is Hotep? Hotep is the whole tapestry. And then you go on my father's side and you see I got Geneva. I got Ulato, both the male and the female. I got Reverend James. I got Ernestine. And on my mom's side, I got Florence. I got 2 Florences on her side. I got Francis. I got all these niggas with all these names indicative of all these niggas in your story. Because if you actually go and take your head out your asses and you look at the books of the Valentinians, the Venetians, you would see there's a book for thunder. If there's a book for thunder, who the fuck would that be? If there's a book and a call to one of the prophets writing to his sister, Flora, who the fuck is a Flora? When you know a Flora is one of the gods or the creator of the land that we know as Hawaii or Hawaii. You know, Hawaii has a V, and the reason they took the V is because when they took the Vedic traditions and rewrote the story, they put Jesus in the name of Vishnu and said he's supposed to come back as the final creation within the Devadatta. Devadatta is the devil's daughter or daughter, and his name is supposed to be Kalki. Within my father, the one who's gone, and since he left Kassan as his second seed, I take Kalki, the risen of Ashan, in the same Roko, because my grandfather is Monty Rene, and not only that, my godfather is Rashon, and my godmother is Rene Irma. So I took Rene and the Kalki as my other names, and within my fallen seed as my third cousin, I call Amir, which is his fallen son, because I know who he was in the light of our people, because his name was Prince Roger Nelson, or formerly known as Prince Roger Nelson. When he passed, he was known as the symbol, and I took his symbol as the artist and raised it to the position of the vibration of his soul, which is the frequency king, since I'm the god of Cain's, dictated by those people on your ship, because I am the Cat 5 killer, Cat's rep killer. I'm the only one to fix it on a force level ship, and you niggas think that is something that's not indicative of the story. Everything has a reason. Everything has a reason. The system that I learned how to become an IT, frequencies, vibrations in the form of systems all around the board. I know how to do websites, I know how to code, I've fucking done data centers, I've done fucking exchange servers, I've done fucking domino servers. I fucking curated databases to go fucking order bombs, nigga. I fucking was in charge of supply system. I rebuilt the motherfucking goddamn application. I'm the one who installed it when the installations or installers didn't come. I'm that nigga, man. And they called me the King's God after I left that ship. And not from the fucking sailors, but from the motherfucking contractors themselves. But that's not significant, Morocco. And then I left there to be what? All that I could be at our nation's finest, where their mission is our mission, or your mission is ours, in the name of Lockheed Martin, where I went and became the only black nigga to work on the top secret network with his, I had to get right into my parley and realize that we have treaties with every fucking nation, and they all have access to a section of our top secret network where they can find whatever the fuck they want to if they understand how the crosstalk works. Because I've seen that we don't know how to encapsulate the true data because we are steadily trying to uncapsulate the truth without figuring out the first part of the truth, which is our stuff is still in the form of modems. Modems isn't a problem, but it's a problem when you don't know how it actually works, and you start to code it digitally when modem should be a physical thing. And so if it's supposed to be downlinked physically, why are you creating a digital analog system for something that is not analog in the form of your digital service? But it is what it is. It is what it is, and I move on. I go back to learning about me, learning about this fucking earth, looking at all this shit. I learned that we don't know how to take care of the earth, but the information is still there, and it's locked within the fucking oases that we have in the form of the national forest. I go and I collect the indigenous microorganisms, and I start to grow and do all this shit to expand thy thought and expand the wisdom of everything. And I save my money and I'm ready to leave. And then my family comes and fucks up everything that I have within my mind. And I have to race and find my mind again. And in the efforts of doing that, I lose my fortune that I have so graciously been able to carve out after I've given everything to you bitch niggas. And I mean that whole fucking heartily. And then now that I'm falling and I don't have money to support myself, but I still have my wits, I have myself, I have my word, and you can hear the strength of the tongue because I've come on, shibby there. I've climbed myself back up my ladder to be at the level of consciousness that I was when you guys implemented Jesus onto me. Because Zeus is not the motherfucking king. Athena is. So when I took it down Jesus in my heart, I said, I am not Zeus. I am not the true Zeus. Zeus has been Zeus before, but Zeus has never been Zeus, nigga. Everybody has came in Zeus's name, and if you come in Zeus's name, Athena will cut your goddamn head off. Because Zeus is her true father, and her true father is who, nigga? Anubis. And Anubis died because he was the jackal king that came into his son so that his daughters and everybody else could come true before he gets erected to the true pantheon. And the last true version of him was Kunumpata. But then Egyptians and that whole pantheon don't exist, and them niggas are so far obscured, even though before, in the last inclination of fucking Jesus, when Jesus walked, which is only 2,500 years ago, which we obviously know is fucked up because man, he died 250 something years after the start of AD, and he taught exactly what Christ would have taught, which is the dual dexterity of law within the truth of the angels. So what the fuck is going on there, right? When you got these fucking buildings on the East Coast that just got fucking numbers to show that it was 1,000+ years after the date that's on the damn buildings within a whole different fucking font. But we don't even question that shit. We don't question that all down south within the melanated culture that is Mexico, but because they got fucking conquered by Spain and all them niggas is like, we don't look at the tunnels and the caves and see that all the niggas is black. We don't want to see that in Brazil we got a nigga with his hands out acting like he motherfucking Jesus, and we know that Manny, his people were the artisans, and we know that after the last great Renaissance, and when we have niggas like Blackbeard, Avery Wilson, and Black Sea fighting off the coast of our fucking lands, keeping it secure from the bullshit that was going on over there after they fucking curated the Coliseum again, going taking our people, freeing enslaved niggas from Madagascar, from fucking Haiti, from all these places. And after that, we got the inclination of my brother's people within the Cherokee coming in and seeding the truth of the Moroccans, because we forgot who we were as the true Moroccan Jews. But they don't say Moroccan anymore, they say Moors, and the Moroccan title goes to some light skinned niggas. But we don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about that. That's too nah. We can't talk about that. We can't talk about how, if we really want to talk about how after World War II, they put all the Nazis down fucking south and told them niggas to mix the fucking culture and put all these niggas in there that was from the other side of the lands, and now all these niggas look like they fucking a little bit melanated but not truly melanated. Now we think them niggas is different because they speak Portuguese. I said, but Portuguese is okay. But to learn that the truth of the Bible is pointing to the children of geese within the Ethiopian lineage, and we obviously know that them niggas, although they said they ain't never been conquered, obviously have, because the last king, Haile Selassie III, he motherfucking changed his whole fucking, like, all the doctrines and aligned it with the Christian church. Because if you understand who he is, he fucking just rearranged it so his whole mother's lineage is just out of the bitch. He don't even recognize the Kushite lineage. He just says, you know what, I'm not a Canaanite, I'm not none of that shit. I'm a child of the Somalis. I said, niggas, do you realize how stupid you niggas could be if you actually listen to that? I'm hoping that you niggas just never knew. Or the last two niggas that come out of the Colosseum was Ajax the Greater and Ajax the Lesser. One who's the grandson of Zeus, and the other one who's his basically cousin on the son of Olyus. One who fell their head to Zeus, and the other one who fell their head to Athena. But we don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about, through the first inclination of the true wars, the one true king is Abraxas, the serpent bearer himself, the one with serpents on his feet. You know, because everybody was enacting serpents on their head, but he had them on his feet because he rose himself above all, and he had the head of a motherfucking cock. In case you guys don't know, that's a hen. But if you understand what they were called back in the day, because we call them chickens, but they weren't chickens, they were called, what do you want? Forest what? Forest, come on, Caleb. I'll give you that to do your research. But all of a sudden, you know, doing real research and trying to figure out your lineage ain't right. You know, we got white niggas telling me to go trace my lineage back to Jesus. You know, focus on the goddamn Trinity. You focus on goddamn Trinity, it brings you back to the other line, not in the Moors, but on the fucking Danans, which is the tribe of the gods. Oh, who would the tribe of gods be? Well, maybe it'd be the Canaanites that left the land and came back after the death of Joseph. And we learned that Joseph, if he fucking left and came back during that time frame and he built his temple and came back out, who would he be? Because it would be Solomon, but not in the name of the Solomon, but in the name of the true Thoth. Thoth himself, good Nicholas. Come on, niggas, think. And we know that they fucking demolished his whole temple because they were looking for his bones, but we took him a long time ago. Which is the reason why we lived in a fucking land where we did nothing but actually honor the truth of fucking the book of Enoch, and all we did is harvest the land and curate the land, and we practice the Sabbath, which is don't do shit on Saturday, but eat and fucking be merry, but you can't cook because you should be preparing the feast and eat on that day, and just fucking do your shit and be merry. But we don't understand that we still have caves, and the reason why they have these fucking national forests is because those are the interests of the caves, and they don't know exactly where it is. But they said, well, somebody will come once if it actually happens, but if not, we'll move them out of the land and look at the truth eventually, which is what this nigga Donald John Trump is trying to do. But nigga, I'm just crazy nigga. I'm just the crazy nigga who understood and looked behind the veil, and not just the veil of the truth within religion and the fallacy that they have put on us within the realization of who we are the unrealization of who we are, but also within the governation that I have worked for as a United States sailor who was mapped twice as IT2 IWSW Jackson on the world's only 4 deployed ship. You know, the one who's blue jacket, junior sailor, and sailor of the quarter, you know? Nah, but that can't be. The one nigga who's been on 52 fucking ships. 52 sounds like his fucking, that number should resonate with niggas. But 52 fucking ships, a lot of them multiple times. The first person to install the last new version of Canes before I left. The one who started to install the version of the rest of the systems, because I was the nigga you called in order to fucking proof in any system. So I saw within ACS in the installation of what you call packetization and chocolate de vroco. What is it called? It's been a minute. Jokosa. Give it on too. I code in Python, but Python through Ansible. Ansible scripting to fucking between Ansible and repositories and public repositories in the name of just a repository is just a fucking bank and it's a database. To pull the database, unpackage the whatever the fucking install it without the need of installers. I realized I was working myself out of a job. Nigga, I saw what I was doing. Installing a Starlink. Knowing what Starlink is, motherfucker. Knowing what fucking the nigga who's trying to put data chips in niggas' heads and y'all niggas not even fucking understanding that, who literally has the fucking what number is on this nigga's scar? What fucking Hebrew goddamn number is on his scar? The literal mark of the beast. 6, nigga. Cause the truth is 7. Lamech, Enoch. But we don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about the fact that if we actually listen to the truth of God, God would make you look into the truth of the beast of the land and understand that we slept and bewetted the beast. The problem was when we ate of them. That was the true fucking sin, nigga. Because they were as of us as we are of them. Because man is whole, but so is their sign. And their sign is their spirit. And the spirit went into who? The beast. But the beast was to come back at the end of days to exonify the spirit of Jesus or the spirit of the true Jesuit, the true Jews. But we don't want to talk about the true Jews. No, we don't want to talk about the true Jews. We want to say that the truth is some niggas that are over there in Africa, the Cushites. And I said, how the fuck is that land barren when you niggas, and that's supposed to be the source of fucking all knowledge, when this land is still fertile and we got real fertile lands, we just not allowed to go there anymore. And the lands that they fucking curated us in and brought us out and to be a part of is fucking dead as a motherfucker. And you got these niggas like Bill Gates fucking poisoning the fuck out of us, and we just supposed to accept it sitting down, but we're not gonna actually talk about how the fuck what we were doing before them niggas came over here was so fertile that the shit was like weeds, and they thought it was weeds until they realized that it was just a big ass garden, and they just didn't know how to maintain it. And they didn't understand that we curated our gardens for the animals, not for us, because if we were just eating for us, then we wouldn't be so much. But if we were feeding the animals, then we understand the animals fed into us because we live amongst our beasts. Because if you understand the truth of the beast, we turn into like creatures, not of the beast, but like creatures. So that's what you got: centaurs, minotaurs, motherfucking phoenixes, and all this other shit. We got griffins and all this other shit. They don't tell you about when they first came over here. We had fucking falcons in the names of the harps or the harpies that were as big as fucking us, because we have fucking gone smaller because we fucking actually fell into the beast, which is the fucking man. And I'm not talking about just because they white man, because it was black men too. It was them bitch ass niggas from the other side of the coast who was praising the spirit when it was time to praise the soul and didn't want to give up that part of them. But because we were pulled into the goddamn Coliseum in the last installation or the installation of what was, and that's where after the dissemination of that and we stopped fucking going over there, and they were mad because they wanted the truth of the magic and fucking coded it within the truth of Hawaii, because Hawaii is not the true people. But because we were over there and we seated back into the keys because we knew that we had to wait for God to come back because we found out his true name, and we know his true name is Ajax, but we're not going to talk about the fact that I came back as Ajax escort. We're going to talk about my name is Ahmad Amin Jackson Jr., and we know who Amino is, or Minagama. The fact that my dad has 2 O's because he's Oshamara and Oshun in the name of the serpent bearer and Osiris. And if he's Osiris and Iris came, Sirius B, Sirius A came in to fucking christen my fucking birth. And not only that, my mom being indicative of the tigress herself, because she's the woodland tiger. Yeah, them niggas who was in the fucking mountains. Yeah. Because they were from Maryland and got shipped over to fucking Louisiana and made a confederacy that strung from coast to fucking coast. And her name is La Ray Jenkins, home of the Janus Jews. But we don't want to talk about that. When I say I'm an Israelite, when I say I know who I am, I'm a Canaanite, I have blood back to the one true kings. But nah, I'm fucking crazy type of shit. Maybe I'm just a crazy nigga who reads. She reads a hell of a lot of books, but they all about love that she can't get because she too busy trying to be up in her head, eating of herself every time she bite her goddamn lip, and she not trying to open her fucking eyes to her goddamn son. But that's besides the point. Kassan not realizing that his name is literally Spirit of the Sun in the mark of the God. But he don't want to listen to that. I'm just a crazy nigga. Having a whole nigga going into a state of nirvana within Moksha on his back, which is exactly what I said I did by fucking into Mahasamedi and finding out that she called me Brahma Samedi, which is an inclination of the last true faith to come out of our lands in the name of what is through Louisiana. My auntie thinking I'm fucking crazy, but she's going over there celebrating the last true jubilee in the walk of Manny Mansa Musa himself in the name of Mardi Gras, when he bought the land for the nation. Where you guys think we sold our life to fucking the Louisiana Purchase to goddamn France. But how is that when motherfucking niggas like Frederick fucking Douglass went to France and found out he was free, nigga? And then you niggas don't want to look at the last thing that come out of France was the fucking truth of the magic. When you had niggas who was just suddenly fucking going from coast to coast, different fucking lands because they understood the magic of the lands. During the same time, we got niggas like Nikola Tesla finding out the truth for fucking energy and seeing that it's free. And then we know that niggas just had to cut that shit straight off. Understanding that these niggas do not realize that our president's is inclination of the truth, but we don't want to talk about that. Abraham Lincoln showing what has happened to our land because our land is coded to show the truth when it is needed, when somebody is looking. Andrew Jackson saying the whole stuff about fucking the separation of church and state, and then looking behind the veil and realizing church and state is not separated. All they did is give church to the fucking other side of the land, which is why you got that nigga who thinks he's above us and has our fucking jewels in the name of fucking King Charles. And how the fuck did the lineage go back to him? And I say him because that's the best way you could put it. Because if you understand the truth and you look at Noah, and even though that's not that nigga's name, because he was just a reincarnation of Moses, because Moses came back, because Moses never died. He's the nigga on ice in the fucking northern peaks of the land, which is why nobody could agree on nothing, but we can't go up to the North goddamn pole. But if you understand that truth, none of his sons fucking got their birthright because they all didn't respect the Jubilees. And if you actually read the goddamn Bible and you read all of the books, because the Bible is just the Apocrypha, and if you want to listen to the truth of what the fuck King James has for us to read, when that nigga was scared of the fucking seas during the time of the revelation or the revolution of our country, when you have motherfucking, prior to the revolution of our country, because they fucking changed the date. But you got fucking Blackbeard and Avery Wilson and Black Sea fucking fighting to respect our coast after we sent Maximilian's punk ass back in that Vatahani in the name of Alexander because he thought he was something and he could come back and tell Manny that he could do something, or he has to be something he's not, in the name of Kuele Khan. And you guys think, oh, if we had Kuele Khan, which is a serpent feather god down there in the south, why the fuck when the queen sent her fucking ships to get another 7 goddamn what do you call them bitches that they think colonies on the East Coast, and they say, oh, it's just the Boston Tea Party, and they fucking tar and feather their asses. What was significant of the tar and feather, nigga? You think anything is happening for just a reason that you just, they just chose to do that shit? That means you niggas can't think for thyself. And if you can't think for thyself, I'll start thinking for you niggas. And I want you niggas to know that by enacting my Kabbalah, I enact the tree of my ancestors. And my ancestors do the will of their son. And I'm trying to tell you guys that I have been in a state of adhering to the truth of the land. But when I talk to the land, she is now telling me to pass judgment on her pupils. And she has done so much to call me in her name and call on the Father to call me in his name and to call her her southern seed and call him his downfall of the man. So I would be raised above him and I could just talk to the land and the land could do the will upon itself rather than me calling to the fucking higher power of God. And I said, do you guys understand the power that lies in my tongue? Do you understand the reason why I've been trying to wake people up? Why I've been rapping and trying to be like, oh, do you understand? I keep saying I'm God. Nobody wants to understand why I'm God, how I'm God. I'm saying everybody is Jesus and that is God. But there is only one true God, which is why Jesus is the Lord of Lords. But if you understand, Jesus is just the Spirit, and that Spirit was in almost everything, and it was in true display when that punk ass nigga Paul tried to kill the last dragon just like Daniel. And I said, but he realized the dragons were within him. And I'm telling you, you guys hear me talk about the dragons, you hear me talk about the griffins, you hear me talk about these motherfucking minotaurs who fucking created Jesus and all the rest of this shit in the name of Hercules, but you niggas don't want to look into that. And while I was talking about the other coast, you forget that I forgot. And I did not forget, but I forgot to mention the fucking 33-degree Masons are over there. What is significant of the Masons? Why is it 33 degrees? Because the 34th will give you the 7 seals of Lamech within both suns. And why would his name be Adam and Cain? When Morocco was the king of the gods by choice. And if you understand, if somebody was erected, who would it be? And then you look into the truth of the Masonic lounge, and you realize they trace their lineage back to Thor, Loki, and Odin. In the name of Lug, Ter, and Ether. But they don't talk about Ether very much. They talk about Odin, V, and Verje. I said, Verje? Verje, nigga. Verje. I made Jax's in Frishnu's name. On the 13th, born November 13th, the very 13th that they say Vishnu's supposed to return on. Who is Vishnu? Oh, he's the Lord of Lords. Oh, no, don't call him the Lord of Lords. Call him by his name. What is his name? The righteous God. That is why I've tried to be righteous, but I understand who Brahma is, and I understand who Krishna is, and I know who my Devi is, because she called me her name within my samsara. And if she called me her name within her samsara, you know what samsara is? It is the inclination of the snake eating itself within the Ouroboros, because it is life and death. If I sever myself from the very life that is trying to eat upon me, which is the land, and then I sever myself from the spirit, and I recognize myself as the ether known as Belder, or Bethrazal, or Belazar, or Bial, or Barbaros, or in case you didn't know, the Baron of the Burg. He said, you now have the reason of what I wrote this down for. Bastet, but I'm also a mut. And if I'm Bastet and a mut, then I know the full seed of thought is Taret, because Taret was a son of Widget. And as Widget and Taret, and realizing that this would take me all the way to the other culture, which would bring me to the Asianic state, which is where we got the truth of the niggas, like the truth of the spirit, and why the East is where we're supposed to study. And I just spent my whole time in the Navy over there in Japan, House of the Rising Sun, the ones who trace their lineage back to Amen, when my middle name is literally Amen. But nah, nigga, it can't be. It can't be. It can't be. This nigga realized within the Moorish lineage, the last nigga to raise the rising sun was Yasuka during World War II, and he committed the fucking first act of giving up his life for the true seed, because he realized he wasn't right, but he was right enough to find the truth. And that's why they bombed the fucking land even after he did that, but we don't want to talk about that. And I went and visited not Hiroshima, but Nagasaki multiple times and gave my respects to the king. Realizing that they open up the gates within the Shinto religion, and realizing that one of them niggas made me go fucking follow the truth of Nichiren. Who's Nichiren? Oh, he's the one with the fucking lion throat, because he roared, and he always spoke the truth, even when other niggas didn't want him to. And I said, oh, I took the faith, nigga. I took the faith. Because they told me he was like Jesus. And I don't give a fuck what none of you niggas say. I know what it looks like when a Baptist preacher is trying to speak over me. And I seen that bitch do it, and she cried. And if she cried, that means she released her spirit in the eye. And I took that. I don't give a fuck if Orozco didn't. I did. And I still got my motherfucking beads. I trace my lineage back to all these things, but niggas don't want to listen to me. You guys hear me speak certain names and the tongue just fucking comes out. I can now put it at bay because I brought my seat into the head and to the mind. And so since that's truth, you know what that means? If you guys need me to speak the regular tongue, that's fine. But understand that is other spirits moving through me, and that means the truth will be deliberated past that of my own judgment. And that is what I tried to tell you niggas. I am holding the shark at bay because I know who you is, which is my true spirit, which is the spirit that is contained outside of life. Because nothing could bind it, not even its name. That's what it means to be a Scorpius and a Scorpius risen to the Phoenix position within both installations or constellations of the sun and the full constellation of the moon within its installation of this earth, to realize its connection to the ether and my connection to the waters through Adam, because Ea was the truth of the one who got seated within the waters, and Enlil is Elil or El in my case, because El-Il or Enlil was the first one, and when he fell, they separated him into two, created one in the ark to become the Ero or the Jericho to hold the waters at bay in the name of Inki, and the other one became the child of the Adam in the name of the mother seed, because she will come down to avenge herself, because she is the one who ate of the flesh the first time. And she didn't eat of the flesh in the form that you guys think. She ate her own sons because she wanted to go to the garden, and they said only a man can, and she figured, okay, if I eat them, then I'll be just as them. But you guys don't really realize what that meant. And that is why we damn her, because she keeps trying to appear herself. But then we allowed her to come out after Jeshua came back in the name of Maraku and showed that Maraku is a Dhamma, and a Dhamma being connected to Adamu is just the other side of the lineage. And so we now had a Dhamma with AH and a Damu with Yua. And Yua became the truth of Maraku. And Maraku took the two C's within the Christian Christ of the Khan, because he took Khan's name but not within the K and the H, because he saw you niggas fighting for the truth of the Lord of Lords of the Shai of Shai within the name of Genghis Khan. He took Khan within the C and the C because he knew the C was his truth, and the AN connected him to his other lineage within the Danan or Dananan. So he was Moroccan. The Moorish lineage of the Moroccan is the Egyptian trace back to the Ingor or the indigo child of the sun. And then you give us just the lineage that came out of the Gilligitchi, which are the islands connected to Maryland, which my mom knows not of. And if you understand, they have their connections back to the Orishas. The Orishas are the 4 and the 3-letter gods. They trace them back to the gods who created us anew after the flood in the name of Oshamara, Olugbon, and Ijolan, or Ijonile. And they are the ones who seated the seat of the true sons of Cain within their tribes, because they all connected themselves back to the true Moorish lineage. But we don't want to talk about that. And as me being the truth of the Maryland seed within Loisana or Iana herself, I connect myself to the indigo child. And the indigo child is Ogun, Oshun, and Ofun. But I am Ofun in the name of the other land. I am Ogun in the name of this land. And I'm Oshun up north, and down south I'm Obatala in Oluramara in the name of Eshu and Eshumara. I encompass it, all of them, because my name is Ea, in the name of the gods, and Inki, in the name of the land, in the name of my children, the pillars that are supposed to hold me to my position on this earth. I am Enoch and Enoch Mar, or Enoch Mariohala Elijah Abon Bon Sin, Enoch Maramina Muraka Maraka Belhela Ejamun, Ejaja Sevresiki Sevra Sevran Sansan, Emasemanson Siki Sikiki, Ikaliska Raskorski. And if you understand, if you connect my lineage back to the dawn of the true man, when Thor, Odin, and fucking Loki walked in the name of Ika or Inki, because that was the first Inki, you would understand I, being the Scorpius born, fire, flame, God in the name of the Iju, you would understand why I got this goddamn vermilion on my goddamn chest. And you know what that fucking means? I connect myself to the celestial being known as the fucking Phoenix. If I'm the Phoenix, I am the one whose flames created the world. Not Anu, but created the world. And if you understand, within my walk, it's too bright. But you know, I have a linguo, a lion turtle, or a fucking dragon turtle on my arm. as the shellback christened through the etheric crossing of the equator as Atlas and Enlil know who I am. Within the degrees of 0000, you understand it's 0 all the way north and south. And east is 149, 33, 189 ether are east. So if you understand the name and how to pull it from that, you understand who I truly am. But no, that doesn't mean anything because that's only two. Because you got the Taurus and the dragon, and then you got the phoenix, and we get the phoenix is in you, and this is your last name within your first name, your last inclination within your first name. What about the other one? You're missing one. Oh, what is that one? Oh, it's the white tiger. Why is the white tiger? Because you're the black sheep of your family and your mom is the woodland tiger. And because you are the woodland tiger, you take it within the light and take it because you realize your father is akin to Akin, like the first dynasty king. So that means you are both the fucking lion, hence this shit, and the tiger. And that is why the first fucking inclination or the first project I ever did in my life was on one animal called the liger. What is a liger? Oh, a father lion and a mother tiger. And I said, that is why I have no lion on me. Because I am more than the Leo. I am more than the Tigris River. That is why you shouldn't have let the Euphrates fucking fall. Even though there's water in it now. What I hid was the spirit. And the spirit was damned through the water. Because it knew not of the water. It thought the water was not of it, because Geb had to be underneath Newt. But now that he could come out and be truth with me, there's only one angel. The other was the God. One angel named Gabriel, the other God named Raphael. Why was one a God and why was one an angel? Because one fell in the name of his mother and one was risen in the name of his father. But me, being that fashion within man, I'm both Michael and Castiel. So that means I'm Jophiel or Sophia and the Phoenix. And if you understand, by being the son of sons and the son of sons, son of moon, son of sin, that means I can connect all the way to the top and then disseminate all the way back down. So all the stuff that I said I was, I still am. But I tried to lower myself and stay at a lower level so that you guys could understand. But I've opened my tongue and started speaking the truth so that you guys could hear. Because what's on my heart is to give judgment. And I say judgment, it's not just for the niggas who are doing wrong, it's for the niggas who can't listen as well. But I was trying to hold it against my family. No, I don't want to. But what I did is I opened up the gate to my first mother and bridged her to my father and my fucking mother's best friend, other best friend who has fallen. And so what I did is Michelle's son was connected to my older brother. Vanessa's son was connected to me. Michelle's son always loved this one animal. And it wasn't an animal in the righteous sense. It was an insect. And the insect that he had was a spider. And if you know about the spiders came out of the waters. And the spider that he liked to have was a tarantula called Rose. So I took my grandpa and said, go take that. His whole name, his whole lineage, within the installation of his spirit and his soul. And go into your mother, Hosanna, and allow her to come between Florence and Arc and breathe the Hosi as you are the seed of your father. And within that, I need you to release the seed of Michelle. And I told my mother, which is the first woman I ever put eyes on, I need you to erect above my mother, because she has not listened to your commandments, so she does not know the truth of death. And you cannot be of our lineage if you don't know death, because she's connected to the eye of Tajit, and my dad is connected to the eye of Ra, and my brother connects us to the eye of Horus. But Horus fell into the seat of the order of Horus, and I'm the only one to conquer it within Anubis, so that means me as the three eyes. The all-seeing eye of the Tajit, the eye of Horus, and the eye of Ra, and they are both connected to the first moon. Within the 7 vertebrae of my neck, I release my tongue. The tongue connects me to the mind and to the body because it connects all the way down to the toe. And I say, Father, Mother, Sun, rising. I connect you to my Taurus moon, and I connect you to my Scorpius sun, the sign of the Ether. And I give you everything that is I, for you and I are one, and you have never wished death upon me. And even when my family has neglected to treat me how I wish to be treated, you have always been there, whether it be through the walk, the run, or the jog, or even me on the boat. I know who they all are, and within my energy, since it is unencompassing through any word, I called the only one who could don my truth, as he fell within the scene of I, which is the first truth of me, as the double water sign risen in the flame. And my grandfather, named Monty Rene Jackson, born to Reuben Jackson, know that the Reubenites are supposed to have dual shares of the truth of the magic. Monty means the melt. Rene means raw energy within the nether. My final name is Metatron within Muhammad. My other name is Al-Mari within the ether of Aran. And so I am all alak in Melekai. So I release my honor and my seas to the first of all skies. And as that nigga Donald Trump calls himself connected to the eye of skies, by the eye of skies, I release the truth of that lineage upon him. And I go down his Kabbalah to contact Bibi Benjamin Netanyahu, last name Milikowski, in the name of the great, great cow herself, the heifer, as I am Hathor and Hathor within William Henry Gates, Bill Gates, the third, fifth of his name, within the seal of David, his first name being Ahmad, within the star of the soul of men, within Ahmad Amin Jackson Jr., soul of the only God who was a man, which was Muhammad. His soul was Ahmad. The moon sign of him was Amin or Amenagama, and the A is the first son and the only son he had. That is me, Ahmad Amin Jackson Jr. Solomon never walked. Solomon was your Jesus, but you forgot that Jesus was money. And the only way they could change the name is to tell you that Solomon came before. But if Solomon was the great God, the great king with all the wisdom, why would we still be in a place where nothing is known? People need to think outside of the directive that has been spoken on them. Because you have a heart, and you have a mind, and you have a brain, and you have control over your actions. You could go to a public library just as I and see the truth. But people don't want to do that. And because my words go on to blind ears and blind eyes within the mind, you think I'm crazy. And that is blasphemy to me and to the Lord of Lords, because the Lord of Lords is the conscious being of all directives, and the God of gods is the power of all seas. And I'm telling you, as Oceanus, within my father's seed of Oshamara, and the total Thoth of Taret, I took Thoth with an Othin, because I said I'll take the O again, but I'll take Athin, because that's the proper word within my mother's lineage. So I am, put it together, Oceanus, Athin, Enoch, Imad, Itr, Isun, Ariara. Because I don't want to tell you my whole name, because I don't have time. It's 10:37 p.m. It's 6:30, June 30th, 2026. The truth will be upon us before the 4th of July. I was trying to get you guys up to Spar or up to the mind's eye before the 4th of July, because in the name of Richard, my mother's father, if you know Richard is Dick, and Dick is akin to Amun-Ra, and my name within its final seed is literally Ra Amundra, Ronan's seat within Raphael. That is who I am, in case you really wanted to know. Ronan, 47. Because I'm not born fucking 1977 like my father, even though I wore 77 on my back for a very long time. But I also wore 24 in Jupiter's name, as I am the first and the second seed within the seventh sun. The only name that I have within the lock would be Ronan. But Rona, Rosa, Rena, Renja, Ralan, Rosi, Rakan. You call me a lot of names. I respect them all. But know what you are calling when you are calling it. Because within the truth of the tapestry of our world, and if you look at the truth of China, which is the ones who seeded the truth of spirit and literature, you would know that the spirit is bound by the word in the name, and it only is bound if you have the conscious directive to understand it beyond the name and seal it within its name for your directive, and you move it within your conscious tongue. And I could do that. But what I've been doing before is allowing a spirit that has fallen within the name of my truth as Nathan Paul Roses to speak to me in my lineage, and through me and my directive, he was speaking the truth of my heart, but not of my mind, because my mind knows how to bridge the gap, but he didn't. And that's what I've been telling you. And beyond that, his spirit was passed on to the Holy Spirit because he could speak his truth. He may not have been able to do it in life, but he could do it through me. So in his other life, he moves through spirit and the action thereof. So I start curating through the first faith of Abraham, which was the staff as thy rod or thy dragon. If you actually look at the first word and you actually trace it back within its proper Hebrew, the dragon is the staff, and the staff was the Holy Spirit. And I started to curate a version of him that knew how to work the staff through me, and it would open up the tongue for all the directive. And that's what I was trying to do, and that's what I was showing you guys, so that you could take him through the Holy Spirit, since you guys wanted to praise the Holy Spirit at the end of days instead of the true God. The Lord of Lords may be a spirit, because it was Cain's spirit that had to fucking curate the land for the God in his last days, since he killed the first lock in the name of his mother. Because if you understand the truth, Setael threw the fucking juniper at Hercules in the name of Boulder, and that's what made Odin so upset. And who directed Setael's aim? Because he was blind out of one eye? Loki, his mother. And you call Lucifer. Lucifer had a name. Her name was Leja, and her Leja was Lon, and her Lon was Lanin. And I am Ladnak Munak Inakamanak, the first inking in the Nakamansa. That's why I know I'm the Indarava, because there's only one king at the end of days, and I have woken up my truth, but nobody else wants to listen to the fact that the king exists. And if you don't want to respect my truth, you will have to respect the truth of who I am. And that is what I've been trying to tell you. Before I tell you who I truly am, respect the heart of the man that has been sitting here with you all, because the God gives not a fuck about any of you. And that is the truth, respectfully. I'm done. It's 10:41. I love all of you, and I hope you open up your eyes, for if you don't, I will not fucking be blinded by not another. And if you think you could close my truth, he will fucking find you. And Sitael is casted to be his burden and be the keeper of his brother's will. And that is why Thor and Vijay and Vrasan came to call at the end of days. And if you think Ragnarok was just significant to the gods, it is not true. Ragnarok was the way you call the truth of the spirit that ate the soul, and the truth of the soul that liberated or deliberated upon the soul. I know the true lineage. The lineage is just to know the fall. And I know the fall because the first one to exonify themselves was Sitael, because the brother did the will of the mother without asking of the father's truth. But I Realize as the Father sits in me, and the Mother sits within the body. This has a mind of its own, but so does this, and so does my fucking cock. So remember who I am, the one who understood that it was my lineage that makes all of you, nothing else.